Live from across the Atlantic comes Los Angeles Tar, presented by Why the Long Face, Moribund.
Claire, an old, beautiful, wrinkly, widowed farm woman from a small Midwestern American town, awoke one day tired of the farm and wanting romance like she saw in the movies. As a devoted fan of the Hollywood Ladies column in the monthly Screen Star Film Review magazine, she sat right down and typed Beatrice Fairfax, the advice columnist to the stars, a letter. After pouring out her sad, lonely heart story, she signed her letter, Sincerely Anonymous.
Oh, Beatrice Fairfax, what should I do? I want the bare facts, the truth from you. I haven't got a sweetheart, I'm lonesome as can be. I buy all the right products, do they think this shit is free? Oh, darling Beatrice, it's up to you. So print my answer, kindly do. With matters of the heart, I'm really not that smart. Beatrice Fairfax, tell me what to do. Sincerely Anonymous. I want men that I can squeeze, that I can tease, that I can please. Well, 2 or 3 or 4 or more. What are those fools waiting for? I want love and I want kissing. I want more of what I'm missing. Nobody comes knocking round my front door. What do they think my knocker's for? I wash my clothes with Lux. My etiquette's the best. I spend my hard-earned bucks on just what the ads suggest. Oh dear, what can the matter be? Nobody makes a pass at me. I use Pond on my skin. With rye crisp I have thin. I get my social in. With interest I have pinned. Oh dear, what can the matter be? Nobody makes a pass at me. Oh, Beatrice Fairfax, give me the bare facts. How do I make them fall? If you don't save me, the things the Lord gave me never will be of any use to me at all. Sprinkle on a dash, a perfume de l'amour. The ad says mix menage. Well, I guess their smell is poor. Oh dear, what can the matter be? Nobody makes a pass at me.
It seemed like eons, but the next edition of Screen Star Film Review finally arrived in her mailbox. Under the Hollywood Ladies column, Beatrice Fairfax wrote her response to Anonymous.
Gaze at the stars when at night you're alone, and from out of the blue select one as your own. If you want your purse to be lined with gold, trust your destiny to your star. If for glory and fortune and fame your destiny to your star. If for someone's lips you have yearned and yearned, but you live without hope so far, you will soon discover that love can return if you trust, and darling, you must trust your destiny to your star.
In Claire's excitement, she failed to remember that this was one of Beatrice Fairfax's pat answers, usually revived when Beatrice could think of nothing else to write. And after very little deep thought, Claire interpreted this advice as instructions for her to move to Hollywood, California, because after all, that was where the stars lived. Claire packed her bags, sold the farm, and bought a one-way ticket to sunny Los Angeles, California. LAX greeted Claire with its usual disdain for passengers. Claire got into the first taxi and instructed the cab driver to take her where the stars were. Her cabbie spoke very little English and took her where the tar was, the La Brea Tar Pits. Perhaps you have never heard of the La Brea Tar Pits, but to the cabbie's credit, the La Brea Tar Pits are a lesser-known Los Angeles attraction. They are real tar pits, a paleontological dig where the bones of woolly mammoths and saber-toothed tigers exist. There's also a wonderful museum all about fossil dating. On the 2-hour drive to the La Brea Tar Pits, the 405 to the 10 to Wilshire Boulevard, a 17-kilometer or 11-mile drive, Claire recognized many sights.
How often I stood in the back of a theater watching the MGM lion roar, and how well I got to know that Pathé roosters crow and the Warner Brothers WB and the RKO signal beep 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 and the FFF symbol FFF presents the seal of approval. This town is full of such familiar sights and scenes from a lifetime of watching movies and reading fan magazines. I've never been here before, but it's good to be back home. I've never been here before, and yet it makes me cry to see these old familiar faces. Wherever my eyes turn, I see friends galore. And though they don't know me, I know them. You see, none of them knows I met them at Lowe's. I'm new here in Hollywood, but I'm proud of my hometown. I can't wait until I beat my feet on Vine and Sunset, all those old familiar places. To me, the Brown Derby beats St. Peter's Dome. I should say Hollywood, I'll lick ya, yet I'll beat ya. But I don't care, I'm just so glad to get to meet ya. I've never been here before, but it's good to be back home.
Very pleased with her decision to move to Los Angeles, she took the La Brea Tar Pits tour. Fossil dating sounded like just what she was looking for. Well, she was old, not dead.
Maddie told Hattie about a thing she saw.
Say what?
It had two big horns.
Did you Say, horny.
And a woolly jaw.
Tell me more about it.
The woolly mammoth. The woolly mammoth. The woolly mammoth. The woolly mammoth. The woolly mammoth.
Go on, I'm listening.
Then Hattie told Maddie,
This should be good.
let's don't take no chance.
Or always use protection.
Let's not be L7.
Huh?
We gotta learn to dance. The woolly mammoth. The woolly mammoth.
A horny man, but
The woolly mammoth. The woolly mammoth. The woolly mammoth.
did Hattie get boned to the tar pits?
And Maddie told Hattie,
Again?
that's the thing to do.
Oh, I bet it is.
Get you someone really
Really what?
to pull the wool with you. The woolly mammoth. The woolly mammoth.
Remember, kids, protection.
The woolly mammoth. The woolly mammoth. The woolly mammoth.
I can dig that. Get it?
The woolly mammoth. The woolly mammoth. The woolly mammoth.
No wonder the tar pits are always so crowded. But it turned out to be a different kind of dating. After the tour, Claire walked a couple of blocks to a large apartment complex called Park La Brea. Claire quickly leased a charming Art Deco style apartment and moved into her new pad, apartment number 44. As she was moving in, she noticed the handsome young man across the hall in apartment 42.
The moment I saw his smile, I knew he was just my style. My only regret is we've never met, and I dream of him all the while. But he doesn't know I exist. No matter how I may persist. So with my close view, there's nothing to do. Though I live at apartment 44. And he lives at apartment 42. How can I ignore the boy next door? I love him more than I can say. Doesn't try to tease me, doesn't even please me, and he never sees me glance his way. And though I'm heart sore, the boy next door, affection for me won't display. I just adore him. So how can I ignore him? The boy next door.
Although Claire loved her sunny Art Deco apartment, the walls were fly-wing thin. The goings-on of her sex-crazed next-door neighbors were starting to get on her last nerve.
There's a married
put under her door. It was an advert for a new Mexican restaurant, Buenas Comidas. There was going to be a mariachi band at the grand opening, and in the picture of the band, Claire saw her handsome next-door neighbor holding a trumpet, which explained why she often heard a trumpet through her apartment walls. She made sure to be at the grand opening to see her neighbor, El Mariachi muy guapo y sabroso.
Ay, ay, ay! A gay ranchero, a caballero, can always find someone to pet. A señorita, a sweet pepita, her other love she'll soon forget. If he's insistent, and she's not distant, the señorita will confess. Her gay ranchero, her caballero, need only ask, and she'll say yes. Soon there'll be a fiesta with a blushing bride, and her caballero standing by her side. If they find the promise that they have in store, they'll be counting little chicos by the score.
At the conclusion of the set, Claire found her heart was now beating to a Latin rhythm. Her neighbor told her that his name was Guillermo, and gently kissed her on her cheek, her face cheek. She said his name over and over again.
Guillermo, say it loud, and there's music playing. Say it soft, and it's just like I'm praying. Guillermo, I'll never stop saying Guillermo. Guillermo by Calvin Klein.
Much to her delight, Guillermo asked her to coffee. His invitation caught her by surprise, as she had not been on a date for over 40 years.
That neighborhood boy I babysat for has turned out to be quite a hunk. And that little kid brother my friend Marcia had, well, maybe some night when I'm drunk, it's all the latest rage to be dating a man half your age. But before I start seeking such unbridled bliss, the question that haunts me is this: am I old enough for a younger man? Have I reached that lofty plateau? Now that older men are much older than when they were 20 years ago. Will the time be any riper? Has the pendulum finally swung? Am I old enough for a younger man now that older men aren't so young?
The next morning, the day of her date with Guillermo, Clara woke to a very windy day. Slight winds? They were not. They were the ominous Santa Ana winds, the winds of the devil. The Santa Ana winds blow in from the desert and are full of particulates and garbage. They make a mess of everything.
Let me rest today. You're blowing me no good. Whew. These dry, hot winds feel like trouble. Go, ill winds, go away. The skies are oh so gray around my neighborhood, and that's no good. You're only misleading the sunshine I'm needing, and ain't it a shame? It's so hard to keep up with those troubles that creep up from out of nowhere when love's to blame. So, ill wind, go away and let me rest today. You're blowing me no good. No good. No good.
While the eerie whistle from the Santa Ana winds is unnerving, Claire noticed some disturbing sounds coming from the lovebirds in apartment 43. Ah!
I've been married, and often I've sighed. I'm never the bridesmaid, I'm always the bride. I never divorced them, I hadn't the heart, but remembered these wise words, till death do we part. I married many men, a ton of them, and yet was untrue to none of them, because I bumped off every one of them to keep my love alive. Sir Paul was frail, he looked a wreck to me. At night, he was a horse's neck to me. So I performed an appendectomy to keep my love alive. Sir Francis was a singing bird, a nightingale, that's why I shoved him off my balcony to see if he could fly. Sir Athelstane believed in fratricide. He killed his dad, and that was patricide. One night kept him by my mattress side to keep my love alive, to keep my love alive.
Claire drank her morning coffee and daydreamed about Guillermo, who by now she was lovingly referring to as Guy, or Guy, as in the guy. Yet her mama had warned her about dating musicians.
Well, at least he's not a drummer. Although, the lady ain't been born, can take the place of a horn with the cornet man. I go and wear this blowing traveling cornet man. Just any time they call him, he'll leave his wife and kiddies hanging with their tongues out to play for peanuts in a dive and blow his lungs out. He'll hop a choo-choo on a moment's notice to play some dates where there are plates and a seating hostess. The lady ain't seen light, can give a horn. A fair fight with the cornet man, a rootin' shootin', always tootin' Dapper Dan, who carries in his satchel a real tight sequin suit, a silver-bladed wah-wah mute. Well, he's shy on height, he's short on weight, but he's the only guy can make my coffee percolate. He's my Dapper Dan, he's my cornet playing man. Oh yeah.
But the Santa Ana winds were clouding Claire's judgment, and she started to panic about the wrinkles on her face. Guy was so handsome and young. She put on her new LED face mask in an attempt to iron out the wrinkles. Just then she heard a terrible ruckus in the hallway, and without removing the mask, she ran out to the hall to see what was going on. It was the police, dragging off her neighbor from 44 for killing her husband. As she turned, she saw Guillermo open his door right to her masked face. He screamed like a little girl and slammed the door in her face. Claire was broken-hearted and was sure that any chance of a relationship with Guy was now impossible.
Old man Sunshine, listen you. Never tell me dreams come true. Just try it, and I'll start a riot. Beatrice Fairfax, don't you dare ever tell me he will care. I'm certain it's the final curtain. I never want to hear from any cheerful Pollyannas who tell you fate supplies a mate. That's just bananas. They're writing songs of love, but not for me. A lucky stars above, but not for me. With love to lead the way, I found more clouds of gray than any Russian play could guarantee. I was a fool to fall and feel that way. I hope, alas, and also lack a day. And yet I can't dismiss the memory of his kiss.
just as though she had ruined everything and wondered where she could turn.
I write to Beatrice Fairfax whenever I am in doubt. Oh, she will help me out. She'll put my doubt to rout. The talented Miss Fairfax, she tells a tale or two in the Hollywood Ladies column of the Screen Star Film Review. Should I really listen to Beatrice? That's how I got stuck at these tar pits to begin with. I grew up in a small town, and when the rain would fall down, I'd just stare out my window, dreaming of what could be, and if I'd end up happy, and I would pray I could break away. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. Do what it takes till I touch the sky. Gonna make a wish, take a chance, make a change, break away. Out of the darkness and into the sun. But I won't forget the place I come from. Gonna take a risk, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Break away. Break away.
But then, there was a knock at the door. It was Guillermo with flowers, and he seemed very happy. He asked her if she had seen the Masked Bandit this morning and told her that he was so excited about his date with her. He was going to make it spicy. Ay, ay, ay.
Aye.
The tar from the La Brea tar pits has been used to pave many roads. Well, it had certainly paved the path to Claire's heart. And like a phoenix, Claire arose from the tar pits to discover love again. The end.
Guy, I'll be there in a second. Let me just do one thing. Use your imagination. Just take this motto for your theme. And soon, every night will be crowded with delight. And every day will be a dream. So use your imagination. You'll see such wonders if you do. Around you there lies such enchantments in disguise and joys that you would never knew. Behind every cloud first ever premiere of L.A. Tar, written by moi. Let's see, that is dedicated to our Great Dane, Sophie. And I want to introduce you to my crew, who without their help, this would never have been born, which maybe that would be okay, but I don't think so. Anyway, here is my real life Guy, my husband, my producer, and fabulous sound director. Mwah! And next I want to introduce my daughter Monica, who is my director, my narrator, and all-around problem fixator. And I want to give one shout out to a person who can't be here because he's social distancing, and that's my music director, Bob Remsey. All right, here we go. Today, I'm here in glamorous Hollywood, hoping that you'll pick my new one-woman show for your venue. You're probably wondering, what on earth is that old woman doing in glamorous Hollywood? Well, that's what my show explains. How did I go from farm woman to glamorous Hollywood with a new love, a mariachi? So now my heart beats to a Latin beat. Well, I hope you take my show. It's very interesting. Cheers.